Hi everyone and welcome to Free Range Diva, where you will find helpful information to enhance your beauty and wellness routines. My name is Cheryl and today I have a small fall shopping haul. September is my birthday month and usually I buy myself a few things, and I didn't buy myself very much this year, at least not much that you guys would find interesting unless you're into computer electronics, because I had to buy some stuff for my computer. But I did get a couple of things that I thought that you might find interesting, so I am going to share those with you today. Also, Merit Beauty now has eyeshadows. They're called solo eyeshadows, and I happen to have one here that they sent me to try out. Loved it, so I'm going to share that with you as well. And finally, before I go, I'm going to give you a small story about failure and not giving up. All right, let's get started. Okay, so let's start off with these new eyeshadows from Merit. They're called the Solo Eyeshadow. They are a cream to powder formula, so they go on very, very creamy, but they dry matte and they stay put once they dry down, and they dry down quickly. It's not, you don't have to wait a long time for them to settle into the eye. They have 8 shades, 4 of them are neutrals, and 4 are what they call their statement shades. I happen to have one of the neutrals right here. This is called Studio, which is a cool taupey shade. This is it right here. In fact, I'm gonna pull it in closer and there so you can not only see it, but you can hopefully see the slight sheen on it, because this is a very creamy formula. It's a very one and done eyeshadow product, and it gives you a very elegant, soft, subtle, but finished look to the eye. Now the first time, yes, I am an older, person, so I do have crepey lids and, all that stuff. And the first time that I tried this, as you will notice when you see me trying it again, demonstrating it, my eyelids are very dark. It's due to a lack of sleep. And so I used a concealer over my eyes first, and that was the wrong thing to do. When I put the eyeshadow on, it was patchy, it was dry, what is it when it broke apart, like when you open and close your eyes. And I was kind of surprised, because that is not my experience with Merit products at all. So the next time I did not put concealer on. I simply lightly moisturized the eye area with a very light gel moisturizer. Then put this on over that, and it was a completely different ball game. It was that, or what you're seeing in the demonstration. It went on smooth, very creamy, very easy, and it's pretty much foolproof. But the result, as I said, makes your eyes look very finished. Also, Merit sent this dual-ended eyeshadow brush. This thing made all the difference as well. The first couple of times that I put this on, I used my own eyeshadow brush because I didn't want to dirty this one up. But I then switched and started using this one, and it's worth the price of admission. I don't know how much they charge for this, but it's definitely worth it. It's just a perfect soft brush that really moves the product around easily. So you can get your eyes together in just a matter of a couple of minutes. Again, this dries matte, doesn't move throughout the day, and has 8 shades from you to choose from. And I got an email today saying that all the shades are back in stock. I will link it at Merit. I will also link it at Sephora. And if I have any kind of coupon codes, I will include those as well. Look! This is the other thing I wanted to show you. Oh shoot. Well, now I gave it away. All right, look. Guess what this is? You already know. This is a desk lamp that is cordless. It's rechargeable, and it can go in anywhere in your home or any space that you want to have a little extra light. It works by touching it on top, and it has 3 settings, 3 light settings. So that's the lowest, medium, and the highest. And it's a warm and gentle and really soft, beautiful light. Isn't that cool? And then you just touch it again to turn it off. I got this because I wanted to make sure that I had something here in case the power went out. Oh, and FYI, yeah, the power has gone out twice. Once was in the middle of the night, and then 12 hours later in the middle of the day. I think they got hacked. I really do. But anyway, you can use it anywhere that you want to have just a little extra light. And it's very lightweight as well. So, and it's just pretty. This gold finish on it and the sculptural look of the design. I mean, if you're outside in the evening, maybe having a dinner, and you put this on your table as part of your, table decor, I have no words, because it's just so beautiful. And like I said, the light from it is just very soft and very flattering. Got that from Amazon. I will link it below. Also from Amazon, last year and going into this year, the weather was pretty consistent. It was, for the winter, it was mid to low 60s every day for months. Then as spring approached, it kind of went into the mid 70s. And I found myself wearing the same clothes every single day. And I was totally bored, but I wasn't going to buy anything new because I kept thinking, oh, summer will be here in a minute and then it'll be really hot. That didn't happen this year. However, one of the things that I did really want was a pair of cargo pants. I had 2 that I really liked, and after being on intermittent fasting for a year and the weight loss that occurred as a result, they were big before I started, and they were really, I looked like a clown in them. And as much as I love those cargo pants, I gave them away, and then I started looking for a replacement. And I finally found one on Amazon. These are them right here. I wanted something in this dark green khaki color because I have a couple of shirts that are going to look beautiful with this. I haven't worn it yet. I will give you a full look, a full picture of them. But I just thought they were just so cute with the pockets on the sides. They've got these zipper pockets up here at the top, and then of course the leg pockets. And I thought that it looked young. It also comes up to the waist, which is great. But anyway, I thought this detail and the detail hanging off the leg made it look kind of young. And so, but if that's the case, I also kind of like it. But if it's the kind of thing that if it does bother you, you can just take this off and just have a straight pair of cargo pants. The material is a great weight. It's not too stiff and it's not too light. It is a perfect weight for, I would say, summer, fall, or spring. So you can, if you're in some place where you have 4 seasons, you can certainly wear this 3 seasons out of the year. And here in LA, I can wear them all year long. I haven't worn them yet, but what I will do is I will come back after I've worn them and washed them and give you a full review and do it in a favorites video or something, because I have a feeling I'm just gonna love these pants. The sizing on Amazon is spot on. They fit exactly according to the size chart, and Amazon also suggests sizes after you've been buying them buying from them a while, and that was exactly perfect. So and they weren't that expensive. I'll link them just in case you're interested. Next up, I have a book. I just started reading it yesterday. I just got it a couple of days ago, and I wanted to share it with you because I am loving it so much that I wanted to include it in this video. Oh, goodness. Let's try this way. There we go. Nope. There. It's called Heaven's Gate, The writer is Paul J. Webster, who is not only a great writer, he happens to be my cousin. This book is about his journey with spirituality and with God. And I want to read you a little bit from the foreword. How do I tell the story of my walk with God? This piece is a sample of how he directs my path. I could talk about the time I was walking in my neighborhood, and as I rounded a corner, the cross on top of the Catholic church was surrounded by the light of a setting sun. The wonder so moved me that I fell to my knees in the middle of the road. The book is a series of poems that he has written about his journey, and it's also filled with beautiful photography. I have a couple of pages here to show you. For example, let's put it over here. There's one example. And another. And each poem, I can give you titles, like this first one is A Journey Within, Her Name is Faith, My Silent Night, A Journey's End. Each poem is, it tells a little bit of a story, and each story takes you on a journey. And something like this is so needed right now because our world is so filled with anger and vitriol and hatred. It's from social media to the news media. It's kind of a constant troubling sort of energy that's being released into the world. And so something like this can be a beautiful respite from that sort of negativity because it's inspirational, it's restful and calming, and it sends out a positivity at a time when it is really, really needed. So this is available on Amazon. If you're interested, take a look. You can probably read some excerpts over there. And yeah, if you decide to get it, thank you for supporting my family and my cousin. So I promised you a short story about failure. And it goes something like this. Ever since I was a child, one of the things that I always wanted to be able to do was grow food. I can remember planting watermelon seeds when I was a kid in my grandmother's potted plants. Oh, yeah, I got an earful about that one. I put a peach pit out in our backyard when we first moved to this house. I was in high school, and it turned into a tree. You know, forgot about it, and it grew into a tree. I just wanted to grow food and eat it and be really connected to the earth in a physical way. Well, my journey to grow food, I would say, in terms of my ability to be a gardener and grow food, with 1 being a black thumb and 10 being just throw a seed out there and it take roots and grows, I'm on the 1 to 2 scale. Last year I did a video where I got myself a raised planter bed and I planted it up with all these starts. I had chard and parsley and a bunch of other different things. I planted it in fall because that's when you were supposed to plant it, and it sat there. They sat there for the entire winter year. They didn't grow, they didn't die, they just sat. All the rain that we got over the winter months, like January, February, March, nothing. They did nothing. So one of them actually bolted. So this season, I tore them all out, with the exception of 1. And I grabbed a packet of seeds, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to throw some seeds in there. And so I did. And I watered them in. I put extra fertilizer in the soil first, watered the seeds in, and a few days later, they sprouted. and they kept growing, and they were so cute and pretty. And I had like 4 shard plants and 3 beet. I planted shards and beets. They were all sprouting, and then one morning I went out there and they'd all been eaten. Not completely, they just had holes all in them. One of them was cut off and laying on one of the beets was just, it had just been ripped open and, or, you know, chopped off and was laying on the soil. And so I have been battling that, whatever, well, I know what it is now, but I have used neem, I've used pesticides, I've used diatomaceous earth. What it is this black worm that buries itself under the soil during the day, and then at night it comes up and it feeds on your plants. And it's been feeding. And so I can show you what they look like now. I mean, they're still the little shard, the one plant, the one shard plant that I left that was a start from last year, I guess it just decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to take off too. and it overnight, it seemed like it just took off. It suddenly started growing. So yeah, but it's been a mixed blessing. I got cucumber, and that grew. I've already harvested one big fat cucumber off that thing, and I looked yesterday and there are more on it. And then I have a bell pepper plant that was slow to start but is now pushing out fruit, bell peppers. So it's a mixed blessing, but I'm taking whatever I can take. The thing is that for years I have tried growing tomatoes. Every year I get a new, tomato plants, I plant them, and every disease, every pest, every squirrel and bird known to man eats or attacks my tomato plants. And every year I get nothing, or very few tomatoes. This year, even though I said that I would not buy any tomato plants at all, I even said it to a woman in the garden center when I was buying those cucumbers. I was like, yeah, because there was tomatoes, wall-to-wall tomato plants, nothing else. And I said, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not doing it because I've just been disappointed too many times. I'm not going through that again. A couple of weeks later, I went back and I bought one. It was here a day and it started developing fungus on the leaves. So I grabbed my DIY neem oil soap and started spraying those leaves. And would you believe that nothing has touched that tomato plant since? It's just been growing giving me tomatoes. I'm freaking out. I hope nothing bad happens because I'm telling you this. But the one thing that I did learn is to harvest the tomatoes just as they're starting to turn pink before the squirrels and the birds can get interested in them. So that's what I've been doing, and then I bring them in the kitchen and letting them ripe on the counter. I'm kind of surprised, so I'm going to raise myself from a 1 to 2 on the gardening scale to a 4. Which brings me to my last sort of present. This was the real present that I gave myself this year. Several months ago, I decided to try to restore and reclaim my grandmother's old rose garden. The bushes in it, those that are left, which are really old, very old, and then there are also some newer plants that I guess came from seed. I think they call them volunteers. So there's 2 or 3 of those as well, but it had been neglected. We never do anything to it. And they seem to have done okay, but I noticed this year we weren't getting any blooms. So I decided to fertilize them using the same fertilizer that my grandmother did, which is the EB Stone Rose Fertilizer, and give them more water. They started giving me blooms. They are giving me blooms. So I bought a rose bush. I bought another one to add to it. And I went to Heirloom Roses and ordered a rose. It's called a Titan Rose. I'll put a picture of it up in the corner so you can see what it looks like. And picked a shipping date. It arrived when they said it would arrive, and I planted it. I can give you a little few of the details. Heirloom roses are own root roses. They're not grafted. And so when they ship them, they defoliate them first. So it's not much to look at when it first gets here. But it came there in Oregon, and so I got it in 2 days. And it was still well watered, so I gave it a little extra water, and they said take it out of the box, put it in the sun, and then plant it as soon as you can. 2 or 3 weeks before it arrived, I dug out the hole and I amended the soil. I added some garden soil and some bone meal, and our soil is very, very good, I have learned. It's very soft, it's well draining, so I didn't need to add a lot, but I filled the hole back up, and then so that when it got here, all I had to do was just dig that soil out, and it smelled so good because of the amendments that I had done. It smelled really good, and the rose went in easily. The only thing I didn't add initially was worm castings, so I added worm castings and backfill the hole. Watered everything in and put the mulch around it and gave it a little bit of liquid rose food. Now they say that this is how they tell you to plant, to amend your soil and to plant, because they don't want you to give their roses granular food during the first year. And in our zone, which is Southern California 10B, fall is the perfect time for planting a rose because it will just kind of settle in, and this one did, into that nice fluffy soil. It settles in and it just concentrates on developing its roots. And so that when spring rolls around, it just takes off, at least we're hoping. But yeah, so I'm so excited because over the course of the next couple of months, I'm going to continue working the rose garden, and I can't wait to show it to you when it's done and it's in bloom, which will probably be sometime early next year. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, so I don't have any kind of coupon code for heirloom roses, unfortunately, but if you search around YouTube, I bet you will find somebody that does, because that's what I did. And check out their site, because they have a lot of information about rose care on their website, as well as on their YouTube channel. And they also have a huge selection of roses to choose from. So yeah, that's it. So I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Happy birthday to me and to any other September babies, because I know that there are a lot of people, it seems like, that are born in the month of September. So if this is your birth month, I hope you're having a wonderful birth month and that you're being good to yourselves and enjoying yourselves. And I thank you so much for taking the time to stop and spend a little bit of your time with me. So I'm gonna leave it there. If you like the video, please thumbs it up and share it. And if you want to see more, then subscribe so you won't miss a thing here at Free Range Diva. All right, so until I see you in my next video, I'm gonna wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful week. I want you to take good care of yourselves, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Bye.